This week on Who Deserves to Be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we look at the case for putting the Buzzcocks into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's look at the case this week for putting the Bolton, Manchester, England punk rock band the Buzzcocks into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Buzzcocks were started by Pete Shelley and Howard Devoto after the now epically famous June 4th, 1976 Sex Pistols concert at the Lesser Free Trade Hall in Manchester. Also in the audience that night were guys who went on to form the Smiths and Joy Division, among other groundbreaking bands. Devoto left the group, and the classic lineup for their first three albums was Pete Shelley, Steve Diggle, Steve Garvey, and John Mayer. The group broke up in 1981 after the usual record label problems, but then they reunited in 1989 with Mayer and Garvey hopping in and out of the lineup over the years, and other musicians, of course, coming on board. During this reunion phase, the Buzzcocks put out 7 more albums before Pete Shelley passed away in 2018. As of right now, Steve Diggle is the only member from the classic lineup who is still touring. With that said, as we always do, to the tail of the tape we go. The Buzzcocks released 11 studio albums, 5 live albums, 11 compilation albums, and 10 EPs. Their 2022 album, Sonics in the Soul, was the only one without Shelley and is, as of right now, their last album. Of those, only 1979's studio album, A Different Kind of Tension, made the U.S. charts, where it hit number 163. In the UK, they had their first EP, 1977's Spiral Scratch, hit number 31, and their 1989 EP, The Fab Four, hit number 83. They also had their first 3 studio albums hit the top 40 in England. 1978's Another Music in a Different Kitchen hit number 15. Their 1978 follow-up, Love Bites, hit number 13. And 1979's A Different Kind of Tension hit number 26 across the pond. The group still puts out albums, by the way, and they're still on tour. The Buzzcocks also released 26 singles. Of those, none of them were big in America. Such is the case. In the UK, though, it's a completely different story, as 6 of them hit the top 40, with 1978's Ever Fallen in Love with Somebody You Shouldn't Have being their highest charting song at number 12. While bands like The Clash and the Sex Pistols were brash and in your face, the Buzzcocks had a more melodic version of punk rock. They also had very catchy lyrics that were full of social commentary, and it was because of that they became one of the most respected and influential punk rock bands of all time, though some might also call them pop punk or power pop. Nirvana, Green Day, The Offspring, NoFX, Blink-182, and the Ramones were among the bands who were influenced by the Buzzcocks. Their songs have been covered by other bands like Love Bites by Nirvana and What Do I Get by the Ramones. Their songs have also been in films like Trainspotting, and they were also one of the first LGBTQ+ supporters and allies in punk rock, which makes them either heroes or villains depending on which side of that culture war you happen to fall on. The Buzzcocks have actually been nominated for the Hall a few times before, as they have been eligible since 2003. But much like other often nominated bands like Chic, Rufus, and Soundgarden, and Iron Maiden, they can't seem to get over that hump. Hopefully, though, that will change soon, because the Buzzcocks absolutely deserve to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.